Welcome to episode 5 of Soulful Summer Rhythms. I'm Gina Hendrickson, and I'm so grateful for this time of connecting with you each week to find ways to chill out on a hot summer day in August. Last month, I was in charge of caring for the garden beds in our backyard. My husband was away for 5 days, so he left me detailed instructions. Now, we've had a few small gardens everywhere we've lived, and full disclosure, all this is due to my husband's passion and, obsession with growing things. And I've been able to learn a few things about gardening, hence his detailed instructions that he left for me. And I've learned a few things about life through this act of planting, tending, weeding, always weeding, pruning, and then finally, hopefully, harvesting food for the table. And while the garden was my sole responsibility for the whole 5 days, which, mind you, I took very seriously, it struck me that as I've been working through this being a summer soulful rhythm of chill, a garden is a really good metaphor for what I've been trying to say for the last month in this podcast. A soulful summer rhythm of chill can occur when I find ways to simplify all the abundance in my life. Meaning all the opportunities, right? The endless possibilities that can somehow crowd my life and each and every day. Maybe it's only me, but life gets so thick sometimes, so dense, complicated, overrun, overwhelmed, like a garden can be sometimes. Rich and I have learned over the years of trial and error of lean and robust harvest times, many life lessons. I remember one of the first big gardens we had came from a plot at the community gardens when we lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. We had an abundance of growing vegetables. We planted beets, carrots, radishes, lettuce, herbs, tomatoes, cucumbers, and eggplant. And they started growing like crazy. I could not believe how you could plant seeds and then all this stuff would just come up with reckless abandon. Now, we knew we needed to thin those veggies, especially the beets, radishes, and carrots that grow under the soil, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to do it. I mean, it's a lot of work, a lot of time and care. And our jobs, family, and other things, they need to be tended to as well. And it was hot. And who decided to get such a big plot anyway? And one that became this wild jungle in the hot, steamy months of summer. We thought maybe they'll just keep growing anyway. Look how lush and healthy it looks. So we never did thin or prune those root veggies. And you know what? They also never did grow. Not one beet, carrot, or radish did we get, although there were tons of greens. So, there's a life lesson, a chance to reflect on why I, way too often, do not want to thin the things in my life that I know I need to, but I just keep holding on for dear life. But those beets and carrots were telling me what will happen if I don't create space for growth, create space for life, create space for my spirit and soul to breathe, to be nourished and thrive. Thinning is making space for life. And isn't it so true that we plant so many seeds in our lives each week, each day, and they seem so small, right? So benign, they take up hardly any space at all. But everything, as it grows, everything needs space, right? Children, a home, School, a career, a project, a garden, a hobby, a spiritual, soulful practice. Everything needs space, and everything needs time. And as each grows, each one takes from the other, until sometimes nothing is able to grow beneath the surface. It's all thick foliage and rich, lush greenery above, and little to no nutrition beneath. Sooner or later, it all withers from lack of nourishment. And isn't this life? We plant so many seeds. There's so much growing and happening that life is this dense, thick mass of overgrown, entangled, overwhelmed life, where there is no room, no space for the soul and spirit just to breathe. Well, the garden gives me wisdom on the importance of thinning the things in our life so we can grow like a healthy garden. So I asked myself, what needs to be simplified from the abundance of my life? What do I need to let go of this summer of chill for my soul? Well, I started with just one thing, beginning with the smallest thing. And friends, let me tell you, it can make all the difference. I got rid of bags of clothing I have taken with me over our last 4 moves. All those clothes spanned 6 sizes. I got rid of bags that, again, I've had way too long. It was time to thin out my closets and all those former reminders of who I used to be at my skinniest and heaviest times in my life. To just let them go, to thin out my drawers and closets, was opening up a new space in my life, even in my soul, to acknowledge who I am right now. This is Gina now, not when I was 30 pounds heavier. This is me, healthier Gina, who has made space by letting go of clothing that is just no longer needed. So I donated 5 bags of clothes, so others who may need them can use them. Why was I holding on to all that for dear life? Letting go creates space for growth, space for spirit, space to thrive within my mind, body, and spirit. This week, what can we let go of? Just one thing, beginning perhaps with just the smallest thing. Maybe it's a book unread or one that you finished months ago. Can it be given to the library? An old postcard on your fridge, no longer current. Get rid of it. One junk drawer, emptied. Old clothing we just don't wear anymore, donated for another's use. And, what of projects that feel like responsibilities, but bring joy to no one? I invite you and myself to pick one thing this week, just one, then maybe another the next, and discard something that has become unnecessary, something that is crowding up our home, something that is complicating our day, something that is overwhelming a life and entangling our souls. Oh, and friends, feel any release as you just let it go. Thinning this summer can be an amazing, soulful rhythm of life. Let's create space for growth and space for our spirits and soul to breathe, be nourished, and thrive. Have an amazing week.